wolves are in the news
Thriving.
in California.
Oh, yeah?
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on there?
Dude, they made it all the way down to San Luis Obispo County. That's the county north, two
Yeah.
north of you, one north of me,
Yeah.
right? Or,
I didn't
wait,
realize that. That's crazy.
It's basically just above SoCal.
It's right above Santa Barbara. I can drive to San Luis Obispo County from my house in 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and they were in San Luis Obispo
so
County.
there was like an
2 years ago.
inciting incident that led to the wolves migrating back to California.
I forget what it was. I think this was a. Oh, I see. There's a news story from now. I remember a year or two ago I posted about it. Kyle, maybe you can find it. Wolves made it to San Luis Obispo County. So basically, what happened was wolves were expatriated the whole way up the West Coast.
Yeah,
they were like
yeah.
gone, but there were
Right.
still lots of wolves in Canada. And then there were lots of
Wildfires, right?
wildfires, lots of collared animals up in Canada, all kinds of
okay.
things shifting. And they just sort of slowly started to come back down. So they were like tracking them. And it's like, oh, wow, they're in Washington. Oh, wow, they've come all the way down to Oregon. And then it seemed like they weren't going to go south of Oregon. And then I want to say a year and a half, 2 years ago, one or two packs like jumped all the way from Oregon down to Central California. Like they just fucking cruised down the Sierra Nevadas, like straight down into
Crazy.
Central
That's
California.
wild, dude.
Yeah, and I think they've gone back since. But yeah, here we go.
But these are not the southern Rocky Mountain wolves.
No, these are your common gray wolf, but
So what's
Still amazing.
What kind of impact does this have on like the ecosystem down in California? Because this is not. Is it good?
incredibly positive.
It's good, yeah.
Yeah, there used to be wolves throughout this
Yeah, there
entire
should be
area. There
wolves.
should be wolves.
So what will it?
But of course, cattle ranchers are pissed.
Of course.
But it's
Yeah.
like,
Oh,
fuck
so they're
off.
trying to-
Sorry, fuck off.
Yeah, they're furious. But
Do you-
like we were
yeah.
talking about chronic wasting disease.
Yeah.
This will mitigate chronic wasting disease.
Ah.
Because as soon as you have a deer that's impeded, it's not as capable.
Weak.
Wolf comes along, bam, gone.
Yeah.
No more passing on chronic wasting disease.
Yeah.
That's why you need predators in an ecosystem to keep that ecosystem healthy. Without the wolf there, without a mountain lion there, without a bear there, that deer then lumbers around getting sicker and sicker, passing on that disease to more and more other deer.
Yeah, I mean that's the reality of back to what you were talking about before. That's the reality of the situation. Is I feel like humans try to artificially recreate the solutions to all these problems that nature's already figured out 100
yeah.
years ago. It's just like the wolves are coming back down. They're going to solve this problem. What do the ranchers probably want to do? Just euthanize all the deer or go out hunt them or something.
This is why we need one guy in every major city in the world with a machine gun who just walks around and goes, oh, that guy looks sick. Then there's no more disease.
no,
Yeah.
no,
COVID
no.
would have been great.
Yeah, that would have
Oh,
been the
yeah.
end of COVID.
I'm pretty sure that's what they did
So
in China.
but I don't quite understand. So according to the news that's recent that reporting on these wolves, they're saying that there were wildfires in 2021 that created a favorable environment for the return of the wolves after
Yeah.
100. How I don't quite get the connection.
So I can explain that a little bit.
Okay.
So what happens is when there's no fires, because typically in California and Oregon, we mitigate fires. The second there's a fire, we put it out.
Yeah,
Okay? When there's no fires, you end up with sagebrush habitat and really thick, dense habitat, which
Gotcha.
wolves do not like to inhabit. So first of all, that drives them out because they don't travel well through sagebrush and dense, overgrown habitat. Fires are natural. That'll typically knock that habitat back, and then you'll have more open grasslands. That's one. Part two of that is after a wildfire, you have incredibly fertile land that resprouts a bunch more nutrient-dense grasses and young vegetation that makes for a thriving ungulate population like deer and rabbits and things like
Gotcha.
that. So basically, it changes the environment to be more open, which wolves are better predators in, and they're more capable of moving around in.
Yeah.
And it fuels the ecosystem in the food chain because there's way more baby animals, way more healthy deer, rabbits, things like that wolves can prey upon.
Got
so it's
it.
sort of twofold and allows them to cover more ground.
Do you see these as potentially becoming like you'll see wolves in your neighborhood?
No,
No.
never. No
Why?
way.
Because they don't
people
do
that
this.
live
won't be
in
enough of
Montana
them.
don't see wolves in their neighborhood
Because they're
You know what I
very
mean?
just sneaky, hanging out in the background.
It's just not what they do. They're elusive. They don't want to be near people. They choose to stay away from people.
They sound like
they're
me.
way different than coyotes. In
Yeah,
that-
I was
in
gonna
that
say.
sense.
yeah.